Folks, if you are not at the 32nd Annual National Dropout Prevention Center Conference, folks, you are missing a treat. As a matter of fact, we've got leaders, we've got teachers, we got dropout prevention specialists from all across the country sharing strategies, reinventing themselves, igniting and reigniting that passion. And folks, I've been trying to get my family together. I got my USVI family here, and we're going to be talking about some of the nuggets that they've gotten from this conference, right? We're in day 2. We started out, Dr. Daggett gave us a phenomenal keynote, and then just maybe 5-10 minutes ago, we just came from Dr. Letitia Woodley. She gave us an amazing keynote. So USVI, it's good to see y'all, right? Yes, definitely to have you here. Tell us a couple things. Skip, if there's a couple of nuggets that you've gotten from a couple of your sessions, share a couple nuggets that you received that you can say, you know what, I can take that information, maybe give it a twist, and then bring that back to either St. Thomas, St. Croix, or the entire territory.
I would have to say that one of the things that I gained was from John Gaylor, his session yesterday, and it stuck with me. I knew it from before, but it stuck with me where it says, students really don't gain knowledge from the content, they gain it from the experiences.
Right.
And so just starting to create those relevant experiences for students, making sure that, we address the trauma that they have gone through, but more so looking at how do we shift our practices in the classrooms, in our schools, to create that culture that is welcoming. You're here, you're safe, and you're welcome.
Xio, when you say that, that quote we shared, Stefan, yesterday, that Maya Angelou quote is, people will forget what you say.
That's right.
They'll forget what you do, but they won't forget how you make them feel. You
That's
see?
right.
And that's it. Children, they'll forget kind of what you said, but they'll come back to you 20 years and say, hey, I remember the way you made me feel. So that made me think about that. Any more nuggets? Any more?
So part of my role is to support what the superintendents do.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
But for me, being able to see people who experience trauma
Right.
that are now here presented
Yes.
and helping us to recognize that we all go through trauma.
Definitely.
And how do we deal with our students, our faculty and staff that are experiencing trauma to help them to cope, to be successful in whatever they're called to do, right? And so for me, I'm just looking at what I can do to support the superintendents
Definitely.
to ensure that we monitor our students from the inception, when they're in school, when we see red flags,
Right.
and address them immediately, so by the time they get up to high school,
Exactly.
they would have already gotten what they need in order to cope with life changes. And so for me, I love the networking.
Mhm.
I love the ideas I'm writing down. They might get a little bit.
I see you back there right down. I see you back there
And
right
you said
there.
it, my mind is going faster than,
Right.
than I'm able to write.
Right.
But the information is rich.
It is.
And it's very relevant
Yeah.
to what we're going through in the islands. And I'm just looking forward to implementation and really putting together a robust dropout plan that aligns
Right.
to our strategic management plan as we move the territory forward. We're reforming public education in the Virgin
And
Islands.
that's it.
And so this is part of the reform process.
I love it. I
Yes.
love it. Definitely.
Yes.
I think one of the things that I saw yesterday is that I was in a session and he talked about every child having the need to feel like someone is seeing them.
Right.
Like everyone matters, right?
Right.
And so we need to look beyond the guidance counselors as the ones that are dealing with trauma.
Right.
And everyone that deals with students in a school can be the one to reach out and let that child know, I see you.
Right. Right.
And,
Yeah.
and that's the custodial worker.
Oh,
Yeah.
the custodian.
Right, right.
And getting our employees to realize that every single person
Exactly.
has an impact.
Definitely. It was a story that comes to mind when you said a custodian worker. It's a kind of like this story like in the 1960s, okay? John F. Kennedy, he goes to NASA, and he's going to NASA, and you got all these people that, the president's in. But then he finds a custodian, right?
Mhm.
And he walks up to a custodian, and he says, hey, how you doing? What are you doing? And that custodian says, I'm sending somebody to the moon. You see?
Yes.
We're all a part of this
Right.
process.
Right.
We all understand it. We understand the mission. We understand the vision. We understand where we're going. We bring all those pieces together. It's nothing can hold us back, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Folks,
Exactly.
If you got all this, right? You got all this rich information, all these rich nuggets, right? Hit us up on Twitter right there. You see our Twitter account. You see that connection. LinkedIn. Hit us up on YouTube. We've got some great strategies. This is just one part of a series we're going to call the USVI series. We're going to be talking to the commissioner, superintendents about the amazing work that's going on in USVI, folks. But if you want to connect with us, you got it down there. Make sure you connect with us. I want to thank you all for just coming together, being a part of this process. Hey, this is day 2. We got another day of it, right? So we got to come back at the end of the session, bring it all together, and then work together, as you said, that plan to see how it all kind of fits together. You know, that's extremely important. So, folks, keep at us.